Hello and welcome to VMS Weathering Tutorial. During this video we will show you how to combine static grass and pigments to create quick weathering effects. Here we are using VMS pigment number 4, texture type. We mix static grass with the pigment. Next we introduce VMS alkyd binders, matte type, and mix again. Now we can apply our paste onto the model. Apply the paste over the areas that would naturally accumulate actual grass and dirt. Don't worry about any excess paste. Alkyd binders give you many hours to correct and fine-tune your pigment job. Now we shall employ VMS Universal Weathering Carrier to blend in and extend our pigment job over the model. Simply agitate the paste deposits, borrow some of the pigment, and extend it over the clean areas of the model. Thanks to this process, our pigment tone will gently filter the paste-free surfaces of the model. This way all the model areas will harmonize well. We apply some more paste over the whole. Again, we follow up with VMS Universal Weathering Carrier to make things harmonize. We apply heat to get rid of the solvent and see where we stand. Since we are using VMS alkyd binders, we can make some corrections. You can remove excess grass fibers and clean up some areas using a cotton bud. Anything goes. Now we shall employ VMS Ready-Made Weathering Liquid, Pigment Jockey, color number 1. This light brown color will liven up our weathering job. Again, we follow up with VMS Universal Weathering Carrier to make things harmonize. Please observe, using the solvent, we are nullifying the sharp contrast between the initially applied brown and light brown colors. We apply heat to get rid of the solvent and see where we stand. Both brown shades are now blended together and look natural. Let's create some spatter using the same color, that is pigment jockey number 1, light earth. Using VMS Universal Weathering Carrier, we are blending in some of the spatter effects. This way we can change pigment blobs into streaking dirt effect. This conversion is totally up to you and your scenario. Both spatter and streaking dirt will look fine on your model. Using VMS pigment number 4, brown earth, texture type, and VMS alkyd binders, we mix some pigment paste to be applied over the upper hull of our model. The paste is applied into recesses like so. Again, we follow up with VMS Universal Weathering Carrier to make things harmonize. We also apply the lighter shade over the fenders and upper hull. Again, we follow up with VMS Universal Weathering Carrier to make things harmonize. Again, we follow up with VMS Universal Weathering Carrier to make things harmonize. The model has been dried, and all looks okay. Let's make some grass deposits on the fenders. The fibers can be affixed using VMS sand and ballast freeze. You can throw in some textured pigments while you're at it. The fluid will go matte when it's dry. Using VMS Pigment Jockey number 4, Dark Earth, we can add some dark accents. Some spatter here and there. Let's make some localized damp effects. First we apply the weathering liquid. Next we introduce Universal Weathering Carrier to soften and blend the effect. We repeat this procedure at select areas that are prone to collect humidity on an actual vehicle. First a blob of weathering liquid, next a bit of Universal Weathering Carrier to blend the effect in. Streaking grime effect is created in the same fashion. No special, streaking dedicated product is required, it's all a matter of technique used. It's easy, simply paint vertical lines and then blend them in using Universal Weathering Carrier. Let's create some damp effects on the fenders. Here we are applying Pigment Jockey Weathering Liquid diluted with Universal Weathering Carrier. It acts kind of like a wash and penetrates the pigment jobs we created earlier. We can also spray some weathering liquid like so. We dry the model to see where we stand. Next up are the tracks. We will be using VMS pigment jockey number 4 and 1. Here we are applying pigment jockey number 1, diluted with a bit of weathering carrier. Now we introduce a bit of pigment jockey number 4, also diluted with universal weathering carrier. Some spatter with pigment jockey number 1. Let's give the tracks some sheen. We will be using pigment jockey number 10. Remember painting with your fingers as a kid? This is no different. The links will receive instant steel-like look. You can polish them with a cotton bud once they are dry, to increase the sheen. You can leave the tracks as is, or introduce the steel-like effect. The choice is yours. Let's pop the spares in their rack. The weathering of our model is finished. This concludes our tutorial. Thanks a lot for bearing with us. Hope you enjoyed it and see you next time.